Hey there, my name is Luka, and you're watching my first year on T. So this week we're talking all about drag, how I feel about it, if I performed or not, how I think it affects the transgender community, all that fun stuff. So to answer the first question, how I feel about drag. Personally, I have a pretty good connection with drag. It's kind of how I found myself and accepted myself. So I like drag a lot. I watched a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race until all of this recent stuff has come out. If you don't know what all the RuPaul drama is about, I'll link Ashton Daniel's video in the description so you can go check out their video, and they explain it really well in there. But I was a big avid fan of RuPaul's Drag Race for a while, and it opened my eyes to a community I didn't really know existed. So for me, it was kind of like this new thing, and I didn't even watching RuPaul's Drag Race, I didn't know drag kings were really a thing. One day I was wondering, if there can be drag queens, are there drag kings? So I started looking into it, and I found out that yes, there could be drag kings. I was working Rocky Horror Picture Show, and in that show I was working backstage, but one day I decided to dress up as a drag king. This is kind of what started my acceptance of myself. When this other actor in Rocky had put on like facial hair on me, it was like makeup made to look kind of like facial hair. Of course, it was very dramatic because it was more of a stage makeup type of thing. And they thickened my eyebrows and made them darker, and just looking at myself in the mirror, looking at myself in pictures, I felt so euphoric, and I didn't know what euphoria was. I felt euphoric, and I had never felt like that before in my own body. And it wasn't until then that I really realized that I was feeling uncomfortable in my body, because I had always felt uncomfortable. I just didn't really think about it. It wasn't something that passed my mind, because I thought that if I were born female, I had to be that, and that was what I was, given, and that's what I was assigned, so that was the role I was forced to play. I played it well, I thought. Now looking back on it, I definitely did not play it well, but I tried, and it never really worked. The reason it didn't work is because that's just not me. I never realized that you could be something else and actually be yourself. So for me, drag opened my eyes to a world I didn't know existed, and it opened my eyes to myself and a part of me that I knew existed, but I didn't know how to accept. It wasn't until a year later that I actually came around to coming out and accepting myself, but it was the first major step in that process. I've never performed before. I don't really know if I would. I don't think I would. Now that I'm trying to present myself more as masculine, I don't feel the need to be hyper masculine. A lot of drag is being hyper feminine or hyper masculine. Drag to me is creating a character. It's an extension of yourself that you get to perform and be as. I don't feel the need to play a character of an extension of myself, because I now am that person every day. I get to live the life that I feel comfortable as every day. And for me now, it's not something I have to hide. It's not a character I have to see myself playing on occasion. It's just who I am. It's who I get to be now. I know a lot of people, a lot of trans guys are still drag kings, and they go out and they still dress up in drag, and they perform in a more hyper-masculine way, or a way they wouldn't before. And that's totally fine. I think drag is just a free art. It's an expression. It's an art where you get to just be whoever you want to be, and you just don't have to care what other people think. That's what drag is all about. So I think for a lot of people it's really awesome. I think it can be limiting to the transgender community, because for a lot of people you're not really sure where you fit in. If you're a trans guy, do you still do drag as a drag king, or do you do drag as a drag queen? Which makes you feel more comfortable? If you're a cis woman or a cis man, can you do drag as a drag king or a drag queen? You have to kind of find that line for yourself, and I think for trans people it becomes a little more blurred, because you're identifying as something else already, and so when you add on hyper masculine or feminine qualities on top of that, it can just it feels a little strange, and a lot of people judge you for that. However, like I said before, it's free expression. It's just a character you get to play, whether it be an outlet for you to be yourself where other people won't judge you for it, or it's just you being whatever else you want to be, trying out different gender identities and expressions, or just playing a character. Drag is completely up to you and what you want to do with it. And everything going on with RuPaul and how Ru is defining what drag is supposed to be is complete bullshit, because RuPaul didn't invent drag. RuPaul doesn't make the rules of drag, you know? Of course, they're a very esteemed, prestigious person in the drag community, but if you're gonna be on that high of a platform and you're gonna use that platform to be transphobic and spread transphobia to other people and tell people what they are and aren't, that's not okay. Don't let people tell you what you can and can't be. I think drag is awesome for people. If you're interested in trying it, even in your own room, I'd highly recommend it. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. Drag is just an art form. It's an expression of different characters. And you can be whatever character you want to make yourself. Express yourself how you want and don't let other people define what that is to you. So thank you for watching. If nobody's reminded you recently, you're worthy and you deserve good. Have a great day. Bye.